Deputy Presiding Officer, what can I say about this motion? I know we're all being terribly nice to John Swinney this afternoon, but I have to say that he has put together a collection of words which is almost wholly meaningless. Because let's be frank, this is just a filler debate. It's a filler debate so that the SNP and the Greens can indulge themselves in some constitutional rants. Paul McLennan did not disappoint, all about separation and breaking up the United Kingdom. That's the theme that Paul McLennan said. This is all intended to cheer the SNP up. My goodness, they need a bit of cheering up, because this is all about killing time until the Stairhead Rami of the SNP leadership contest is finished. And given how well the candidates have been trashing the SNP's record in government, who would still want to leave it? But the amendment in my friend Liz Smith's name is a reconnection with reality. The reality that we need to rescue Scotland's economy from the mediocrity of Nicola Sturgeon and the SNP. Kate Forbes' words, not mine. It's ironic to see a motion from the acting Finance Secretary on his last ministerial appearance in this chamber when the actual Finance Secretary is busy traducing his legacy. A well-being economy needs to be a prosperous economy. I always had hopes that John Swinney would learn that a nation cannot tax itself to prosperity, but he leaves government, I fear, unrepentant in this matter. Kate Forbes wants to talk about entrepreneurship and jobs. She wants economic growth. But some sitting on the SNP benches may agree with Kate Forbes that Scotland continues to grow at a rate well below the rest of the United Kingdom. But don't tell Patrick Harvey or Lorna Slater. Their whole effort in government is targeted at stopping economic growth. To them, economic growth is all about stuff. And I say they're right. Oh, they do a good job. I agree with my friend. Yes, stuff like jobs, increasing wages, better job security, rising profitability, higher national productivity, a growing tax base and investment in our public services. The very stuff that they are committed to halting, opposing and destroying. Well-being is, in many ways, undefinable. And I tend to find that all the things that really matter to me personally in my life and contribute to my personal and family well-being are hard or imprecise to measure. Love, contentment, comfort, security, peace of mind, all these things and many other things make people feel happy. And well-being is about much more than happiness. It's about being able to cope when things are not going as well. It is, as Liz Smith said earlier, about resilience. It is about independence, personal independence. And while I am not of the view that the government is the answer to all our problems, there is work that can be done, especially in helping our young people. Young people need skills that lead to personal fulfilment. And that can be learning an instrument, sport, dance, creative writing, drama, or art, because too often we think of these subjects like central planners sitting in an office deciding how many bagpipe players or footballers Scotland needs, using an equation to balance art against science. And this misses the fundamental point about education. Education is not only about employment. It is about learning skills that help young people find fulfilment.
Willie Rennie.
Can I commend the member for his, I think, glorious attempt to build consensus across the chamber this afternoon. When he's talking about education, I'm a strong believer in early years and the opportunity that that provides to turn young people's lives around and give them a good foundation. What more could the two governments do, UK and Scottish, do to try and make that more of a reality today?
Stephen Kerr.
I agree with Willie Rennie on both the points he makes. My middle initial is C for consensus, and I do try to build consensus. And secondly, the point he makes about the importance of early years. Early years is a very important point in the beginning of the education journey of every single soul. But I return to my my premise about learning skills that help young people find fulfilment. The guitar in the loft or the hung-up football boots are like a, if you forgive the parallel, are like a fine cheese laid down for a future maturing until they are there to help us through a tough time. Similarly, life skills like cooking or managing finances help our young people to stand on their own 2 feet. How does cutting mental health funding for colleges help any of this? How does cutting subject choice help?
The member's coming to a conclusion.
Edmund Burke said, "If we command our wealth, we shall be rich and free. If our wealth commands us, we are poor indeed." Intergenerational poverty is a curse. And I, along with all of you, want to break that cycle. And helping people to access employment and gaining lasting financial security is a way of lifting that curse. The pride that goes with having a good job that allows you to provide for yourself and your family is so important as to override all other considerations when addressing worklessness. Work builds confidence, and when families provide for themselves, they are stronger. Child poverty is solved by addressing the worklessness of households. And if I may conclude by simply saying, Deputy Presiding Officer, that this motion today speaks volume about the SNP attitude to government, because this is a government of ideologues. They put ideology ahead of well-being.
You need to conclude, Mr Kerr.
And we can hope for a future where government enables well-being, but with this party, these two parties in charge, it is never going to happen.